Welcome back to Community Update. It's your main man, Ivan Thomas. And today, you know what I do is I just have people just come by and we just introduce to my audience some amazing people. So today I have some amazing realtors in the place. I was gonna say in the place to be like it's an old,
like
night,
old
house
right,
party,
right?
Because that's what it seems like. We're having so much fun here, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
So I have the president, and I'm not gonna mess this up. I'm not gonna mess it up. The president, Keisha Vaughn. and that's the president of the
Realtist Association of Delaware.
Of Delaware,
which
right.
is a local chapter of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers.
See, I told you I wasn't gonna mess it up.
You got it.
I have Yvette Biggs here, a realtor as well, and Harris Corbett. How's everybody doing?
We're doing
Good.
good.
Welcome.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Thanks for having us.
you got some great stuff going on this week, right? And I wanted to talk about, and it started on the 11th of April.
Yesterday.
So what you got, Keish?
Well, I got.
you
Okay.
got?
So
What y'all doing down
Well,
there?
actually, what we have going on this week is the celebration of Realtist Week,
Okay.
part of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, and there's events every day this week, which I'm going to let my chairperson, Yvette, talk about the events that we have this week, and
Okay.
I can go into a little bit about what this organization is about and, why we're here reaching out to folks.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about, what inspired you all to be realtors. I think that is awesome.
Okay.
Like we had
Yes.
the other day on one-on-one with Ivan, some young black doctors, and I'm talking about these guys probably wasn't even 30. You know what I mean?
Okay.
25,
Yes.
and they was rocking it.
Oh,
These two
okay.
black
Love
men
it.
were rocking it. So
Yeah.
we'll get into that. So
Okay.
Yvette, what you got? What you got going on, girl?
So, like Keisha said, this week is Realtist Week, and we have 7 days of fun-filled activities.
Okay.
Let's see, today is membership drive. Tomorrow we're having political advocacy day. We have a couple of politicians that are going to join us on a Zoom call. We're also going to do some work with a church, helping them with their food pantry.
Nice.
Yeah. Thursday, we're going to be celebrating and looking back at fair housing. We're going to be showing the movie The Banker.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then on Friday, let's see, what do we have on Friday? We're going to be looking at bid for assets.
Okay.
So that has to do with sheriff sales. The sheriff sale process is going to change throughout the United States, and it's coming to Delaware soon.
What do you mean change?
So basically, sheriff sales run all different types of ways. Sometimes you have to go to the county to sign up, just to be able to put in a bid. Now they're coming up with a standard process across the board. So we're going to learn about that on Friday. That's going to be a Zoom call as well. And then finally on Saturday, we're going to have the one and only Keisha and Harris Corbett. We're going to do a session on Ask Your Lender Anything.
Oh.
Anything you want to know about the lending process.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you
Yes.
two are lenders?
We
as
are.
well?
Yes.
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 Nice.
Yes, we
Yes.
are.
Okay.
We actually, I'm a senior mortgage loan officer with Meridian Bank.
Okay.
And like my background basically started back in, here I go.
Go ahead.
The early 90s. And I actually was a real estate agent for 5 years before I transitioned over to the mortgage side. So I was more fascinated about the numbers and being able to get my customers approved for mortgages. And that's when I first started experiencing, discrimination in lending per se, based on my clients. Whenever they met with the loan officer, they were not treated fairly.
Right.
And I was like, I want to figure this out. I'm going to learn this so I can educate and empower. So that has been my mission all these years later, being inside the mortgage division. So I was like, I love mortgages. I love figuring it out. I love educating and telling people how to build wealth through homeownership. And I've been doing it for a long time and continue to do, I guess, till I retire.
So that's your why. Your why,
That's my why,
is you saw
yes.
people being taken advantage of,
Yep.
and you want to get back.
And have a passion. Yes.
Nice.
have a
Harris,
passion.
what's your why?
Well, I'm Harris Corbett, and I actually had a national position with NARAB as well. My why is basically, I grew up in New York. I'm a New Yorker.
No.
Yes, I'm a New Yorker.
Brooklyn?
And Bronx.
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 Brooklyn
Boogie
and
down.
Bronx. No matter
I
where you
know.
are on the
Boogie
planet,
down
you're going to
Bronx. Boogie
you
down
gonna find
Bronx.
somebody in the boogie
Yep.
down Bronx or Brooklyn.
And no one owned a home. We
Okay.
all lived in apartments. You had condos maybe, but there wasn't no houses.
Right.
So once I came out, I went to the Navy, got out of the Navy, started living in Philadelphia. I saw the disparity where we didn't own homes, but everyone else did.
Okay.
So for me, I looked at it like, well, if I'm going to help my people, I got to get on the money side of this thing, because you got to be able to afford the mortgage and deal with mortgages to buy the house. So I've been in the mortgage now for roughly about 27, 28 years.
Okay. Vet. Not just a
Yes.
Navy vet.
Yes.
And thank you for your service. Just a vet in the game too.
Yeah.
Right in the game.
Love
yes.
it, love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your why, Ms. Biggs?
So I got into real estate because there's so many individuals, especially single parents,
Okay.
who don't think that they can actually afford a home.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've always been asked the question, well, how did you purchase your first home? What did you do? How can I go about doing it? So that's my why for getting into the real estate market.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So just like the event that's going on a series of events that's going on throughout the week, and it's a lot of, and I know you guys are like really into community,
Yeah.
What other
Right.
things have you done for the community to educate or educate them on the buying process or the loan process?
Well, we participate in a number of workshops, and now that they're online, like we used to partner with the counseling agencies that to do the mortgage lending side. We do Zoom calls. We did a Black History Month in February. Did Homeownership Month is in June. So we'll conduct different workshops and partner with other people, whether it's real estate agents, to help with their clients, in addition to the counseling agencies. We're just all over the place. So we've been doing it for a while, but we also, Harris and I both, we know that we build our business based on referrals.
Okay.
So having a
Wow.
partnership, which is the best way, when you're building things,
Yeah.
is to have that referral base. So we've been doing a lot of stuff and just educating and empowering people, because we want people, part of our vision as a local chapter is the fact that we want to build a standard way of living for African Americans to build wealth through homeownership. And we lack in homeownership,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is kind of hard. It's not hard. It's not that we don't have the resources, meaning money. We do have jobs. Some of us, we have well-paying jobs. It's just that we're not educated or disciplined enough in reference to how we spend our money.
I agree.
So our job is to say, hey, in order to build wealth,
Yeah.
you don't even get to millionaire status. You got to do it through real estate, like everybody else.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and you're absolutely right. Like every millionaire that I associate with has property.
Yep,
Every one
absolutely,
of them.
absolutely.
Yep. And it has me now on a thing of I'm buying property.
Right.
In
Yep.
2021, I'm buying a bunch of it. So
Yep.
I'm gonna need y'all to know.
You have to.
You
You
know,
have to
I'm
buy
gonna call
property.
y'all.
Yes, that's the only thing that appreciates faster than your bank account.
Yeah.
When you think,
Yes.
think about what you earn, your little savings. But we have to change the mindset of our people.
So how do we
And-
change the mindset? That is a
That's a
very
good question.
Yeah, we're gonna break it down today. If you're watching at home, this show's for you. How do you change the mindset of renters to home ownership?
I think it starts, like our motto is like, it's the legacy, trying to leave legacy. So if you look at, like when I got started, for my story, how it really transpired for me, when I was about 21, I moved out of my mother's house thinking I was grown.
Okay.
So I paid rent, and it was $395 at that time. Yes, it was $395. Nobody sees that today, but
Right, I was
it
where
is.
you
Okay.
live at.
Exactly.
And I spent 1 year paying, to me, I added it up. I said, I'm giving somebody $5,000 of my money and I don't have no place, nothing to show for it. So I humbled myself and asked my beloved mother, can I move back home? So I wanted to buy a house. So I moved back home and I went looking for a house. So I bought my first house at the age of 23. Now, not knowing that my mother had planted the seed, because she bought a house, I'm from Philadelphia. So she moved us from the projects and moved us up to what was the suburban city part of Philadelphia, like Mount Airy. It's not like that now anymore, but And she went to go rent, but the real estate agent told her, you need to buy a house. She never knew anything about purchasing a house, but my
Right.
mother followed that person's lead and bought a house.
Right.
So me growing up in a house where my mother owned really
different,
planted
yeah.
seed within my spirit to say, you need to own real estate as well.
Right.
And then the occupations that I had, I used to work for the bank, and I started watching people come in the bank, making their deposits, how they make money. You could just see occupations and so forth and so
Yeah.
on. And one person came in, it was a real estate agent. I was like, how do you make this much money? And what do you do?
Right.
So I got to ask questions, and that's how I started off being licensed as a real estate agent.
Yeah.
So from that point, when my mother showed me that she bought a house and I bought a house, so now of course my kids are required to buy a
Wow.
house.
Wow.
So 2 of my 4 children have homes. And so that's how you start building legacy. It goes on within the household, because if you accomplish it, you can now teach your children, your children's children, and so forth, that you should buy a house.
Right.
So changing that mindset about how you're spending money can be redirected by having conversations with your family, your friends. Just talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it more, and then show people
Yeah.
how to do it, and let people, and tell your story.
Right.
You know, so we got to get people into the point where they start thinking differently about how they spend their money.
Yeah.
And, you know, it breaks my heart, and Harris can probably piggyback on that, the many customers that we have come across where they have good paying jobs, but they don't have any money saved.
Yeah.
And that's disturbing, because they do have good paying jobs.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people were stuck in survival mode.
Yep.
And
Right.
stuck in the stinking thinking that how it was way back
Yeah.
then. And I know, like right now, that there's been a lot of misconceptions of home ownership. So Harris, Ms. Biggs, this is directed to you. What misconceptions have you heard, dealt with, and clarified for people that are out there? You know, because I know people say, "Oh, I can't get a house because my credit at 600 is bad."
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, or below 5. I know people was getting houses at 540.
Right.
yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
Exactly.
see what I mean?
Absolutely.
Told you the
Exactly.
show was for you.
Absolutely.
Well, we want to get them out that 540.
Yeah, get 'em out that 540.
Exactly. Exactly. So my personal experience when I work with my customers, I do help people find rentals, but I always ask them why a rental and why not purchase a home. Oh, well, I can't really afford to buy a home. And I'm like, but your price range for a rental is $2,000. If you can afford $2,000 in rent,
Yeah,
you can afford a $2,000 mortgage payment.
yeah.
And it's like the light bulb just goes off. Like, oh, I never really thought about it that way. So then my next thing is, let's go through the process.
So you got a nice plan.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
See what you're doing.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, it's like, why? And then sometimes people will say, oh, well, I need to save up. And it's like, well, if you're renting, you're not able to save. The only way that you can save is to go and live with someone for free. That's the only way that you can really save up your money.
Okay.
So then another light bulb goes off.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. All right, so can you help me through this process? But of course.
Now you
I'm
got
gonna-
a friend for life, and
That's
you're on
right.
a
That's
Christmas
right.
list.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's
Yes.
right.
How about you?
Well, I'm proud because I happen to say I have 3 clients right now who are using their stimulus checks, who are using their Social Security to purchase, who are in contracts now to purchase a home.
Nice.
And so that's some of the misnomers that people don't think. Well, I only have Social Security, so I can't buy a house. You might not be able to buy a big house, but you can buy a house depending on the area with whatever income you have. And there's first-time homebuyer programs to assist you with getting money, you know, to offset some of your sum. There's programs in Delaware now that give you up to $5,000 to $8,000 to help you towards your settlement and closing costs. Those programs could also be used to assist you with your down payment, because not all money can be used towards your down payment.
Don't give them too much, because they're gonna need to call y'all for
okay.
this.
Yeah.
Don't give them too much.
That's right.
All right,
Yes.
don't give them too
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
I had to stop it. Look, Keisha over there, like, bro, you gonna have to call the number.
Call us. Exactly.
Call us out.
So, you know, the beautiful thing I want to mention is that this is happening throughout the United States,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
not just Delaware.
Right.
Yeah.
NARAB is 25,000 members strong.
Yes.
We have affiliates all over the country. If you Google NARAB, you'll see these events, this Realtist Week, this particular week, all over the United States. We're having different home buying events. And the thing I want to mention about our organization, it isn't just real estate. It's not that realtors. It's builders,
Yes.
developers,
Yes.
Okay.
appraisers. We have 10 affiliates. We have the Real Estate Brokers Management Institute, the Mortgage Bankers, United Developers, if you want to be a developer, if you want to be a contractor, if you want to be a commercial lender or
Right.
commercial builder. See, that's the difference between our organization, because our organization, you don't just have to sell real estate. It gives you a bigger vision.
What is the realist? I can't even say.
Realtist.
Realtist
Association.
Association.
of
What is it all
RAID
about?
for short. Maybe that'll help you.
What is it?
RAID. RAID for short.
RAID, okay,
RADE. Yeah.
Raid. What is it? What is it about here in Delaware? What's the mission?
So we're a partner. So we're a local branch of the National Association of Real Estate. We're a local chapter, Delaware. Okay. So like he mentioned, there's chapters all over across the country. All right? So NARAB was formed in 1947. 11 men and 1 woman got together from across America and met in Tampa, Florida. What was happening is that they formed a equal opportunity civil rights advocacy organization because they were not allowed to be a part of NAR, the National Association of Realtors. Okay, so and their vision was to have democracy in housing because we know that we are being discriminated against, and not only what's going on in America today, but it still goes on from then to now, and housing is one of the major parts of it. So last year in 2020, the African American homeownership rate was 47%, compared to a non-Hispanic whites is 76%.
Wow.
Okay, so when you sign up to be a part of NARAB, because their vision is democracy in housing, we want to fight and make sure the legislation is passed that's not going to exclude us in becoming homeowners.
That's major.
So we do a lot in reference to Congress, meeting up with folks and so forth. So once you sign up to become with NARAB, you're considered now a realtist. Okay, so that's where we get the word realtist from.
That's what I was going to ask you the difference between realtor and realtist.
So that's because of NARAB. We're realtist because we were not allowed to be a part of the MLS. So they fought to have rights as the regular realtors did, and that's how they would have access to the MLS. So this organization allowed black real estate people to be able to do their business because of NARAB.
So way back when, black realtors couldn't be realtors,
Right.
or get the MLS.
Right.
So 11 black folks got the
12
black folks got together
woman in there,
and said, we're going to change this and we're going to make it right for our people.
That's right, exactly, and we've been fighting ever since. So it's phenomenal because we're the
Wow, that's
oldest
strong.
minority trade association in America.
That's strong. So you don't want us to be realtors. We'll be realtors.
Exactly.
Oh, that's straight. That's
and you know
major
they're
right
part
there.
of a huge organization, like he mentioned. This is huge. We do a lot.
Okay.
And we've been promoting it. Go to narab.com. Is a lot of information. There's a lot of information. You're able to get a lot of designations in reference to the education certification as real estate agents. And we welcome anybody associated with real estate, period, should be a part of this organization.
Now, how do they become a part of this organization?
Fill out an application.
That's it.
Fill out an application. Just like they pay their membership dues with NAR and in Delaware, Newcastle County Board of Realtors or Delaware Association of Realtors. You know, they are part of those associations and they pay an application. But we want people to not only be members, we want people to participate because we got to spread the word. And so it's not just you signing up. Like, bring your talents and your skill set to the organization to help us educate, empower. We want to build you up personally for your business, but at the same time, we want to increase this home ownership rate because it's time for us to really start stepping forward.
Yeah, and that was my
as a
next
community,
question.
as you know.
Yeah,
we
no,
just
I'm
need
with
to-
you 100%. That's to know what's in the pie is the best part.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just and I always been wondering since my first time meeting you guys at your place.
Yeah.
Like, what's the difference between realtors and realtors?
Yeah.
Wow, a lot of history. You're getting a lot of history today.
That's right.
So in the grand, I don't want to hate to use the word scheme. I'm not even going to use that. The grand thing of things. Why should people join?
So that's good. And I'm going to let my veteran, who's been a part of NARAB forever, and my newbie, who's new, to share why they're still part of it. I'll add to it, but I think that's why I want them to come here as well.
I tell you, I was one of the original members when we had this organization.
Don't say the OJs.
No, not with OJs. But in '97, we had a chapter here in Delaware, and it was Delaware Realtist Association. It was me, Vincent White, Mildred, Duval Watson.
Oh,
Steve
my
Wright.
man. Shout out to Duval.
Yeah. We originated this. And so, but what it was is, I don't know if African Americans didn't feel a certain kind of way, but it was hard to impress upon African Americans why they would want to be a part of it. Because I thought they looked at it as negative. So it was a little bit of a hard fight back then. But I stuck with it, hammered in there people to listen. You know, it was if you're talking about black real estate, then how could I not be a part of a black real estate organization?
Right.
You know, that's looking out for my interests. Because even if you're not a part of it, your interests are still being looked after through NARAB.
Yeah.
You know, I have my affiliates in D.C. We're very strong with the Congressional Black Caucus. We do a lot with them. And it was like, when you get to meet these conventions, you go to these conventions, you meet these people willing to share different things in terms of what they took to be successful.
That's right.
Then, you know, it was like a given, you know. I mean, you be in a room with 700 or 800 producing African Americans, you know, just want to share their experiences. So now, you know, it's like a family. I've been a member of this organization for over 20 years. And it's like a family. I can go to any state, call one of my real estate friends, and they'll tell me what I need to know to make that thing happen. So it kind of broadens your horizon. You don't just have to be a mortgage banker or a real estate person. You can be a builder. You can be a developer. You know, you can be whatever you want within real estate.
Right.
So that was my reasons for joining.
So I've been with the organization since 2019. I'm licensed in Delaware, Pennsylvania, and Maryland. And Maryland, they have a chapter, but at the time there wasn't a chapter in Delaware. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to kind of wait this out because, you know, it was a little bit of a commute for me.
Right.
So then finally, you know, I got the alert, you know, there's a chapter finally coming to Delaware. So
Right.
I'm like, I got to get on board here. So my reason for joining and my why is the educational piece of the organization.
Oh.
So NARAB as a whole, you know, we have multiple conferences throughout the course of the year.
Right.
And during those conferences, there are a lot of different classes that you typically may not see through National Association of Realtors.
Okay.
So one class in particular is working with the churches. You know what I mean? Getting individuals from the churches involved in the home buying process and making them aware. So that's my thing. I'm a lifelong learner, so I'm that person who feels like, you know, I'm going to be learning till the day I die.
Right.
And I want to be of value to my clients. I have some repeat clients now. They've purchased their first home. They're ready to do investment property, and now they're looking to buy land. So it's like I need to know about all those different things and to also be able to help out different people, make people aware of the fact that the organization exists and that they can join as well, even if they're not real estate agents.
Got you.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So, and also, I just want to piggyback and add to that. People, when we have our conventions, and they have like midwinter conferences, they have the national conventions. You're in a room, like he mentioned, like 700,000 to 800,000 people. You know, last year we had to do a Zoom because of COVID. However, we're connected. You're in a room with decision makers. You're in a room with policy makers.
Yeah.
So we have one of our real estate broker was able to talk to somebody from a major bank because you have their top executives there, if not the CEOs who are present at the conventions, talk about how they were having a difficult time of getting a short sale approved. A phone call was made,
Right.
and that process was able to happen. So the connections that we make, the certifications you're able to get to expand. If you ever want to get into the bank's REO list that people say, how come we're never a part of it? You need to be part of this organization because they make things happen. And people really need to join because there's a lot that we do
Yeah.
and we are exposed to a whole lot. They're going to teach you how to buy a hotel. There's stuff like that
Hotel,
going on right now.
Can I sign up?
Yes,
Yeah, of
you
course.
can.
Sign up?
Absolutely.
But of course.
Yes.
Yes. Please come join us.
Might have to do that. If y'all pop up
Yeah.
next year, see, I got a
Information.
hotel.
Information
Yeah.
guys.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hotel managers division. Yeah.
So anybody can join.
Anybody
Yes,
can join.
anybody can join.
Anybody
Anybody can
interested
join.
in real estate.
Yeah,
Yes.
anybody who are interested in real estate.
Okay.
It's like if you're a part of it
Y'all
one
done
way
let the-
through communication, you're a part of it. You promote
Right.
you trying to be an investor, you said earlier.
Yeah.
You want to buy all these properties, be a part of this organization.
Y'all done let the
You will
lion
meet
out
and
the,
greet.
out the cage.
You
I'ma
will
tell
meet
y'all.
and greet some people.
Y'all know y'all done messed
You ready
up.
now,
I'm
right?
ready now.
Yes. Yes.
So there's a report. It's called the
Sheba report.
Sheba report.
Yep.
What is that report?
So the state of housing of Black America. This report actually was founded one of our past presidents back in 2013. So it's a comprehensive report that gives us information where we stand in home ownership as African Americans.
Right.
And on it documents the disparities, it analyzes the results, and it also did recommendations to improve home ownership.
Wow.
So that's going to be good because we want people to tune in tomorrow because there will be a panel discussion on Zoom. So they go to our Facebook group page, Realtist Association of Delaware. We'll have the Zoom information on there, or they can email us at realtist.de@gmail.com. And we will have somebody from HUD there. We're going to have somebody who's going to give the Sheba report pertaining to Delaware.
That's major.
That's that's going to talk about Delaware's, where we stand as homeowners in Delaware, and then we also going to have Congressman Penrose,
Penrose
Hollins,
Hollins.
will
Nice.
be present there tomorrow as well. So that's from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m.
On Zoom.
On
On
Zoom.
Zoom,
Okay.
yes,
All right.
yes,
Yep.
absolutely. So that's an awesome report. So they do it every year, and every time we have our conventions, the report is published at that time, and it gives you details. Like I was reading a
you
report
it
for
does.
2020. It was like 92 pages long, and it talks about the income disparities. It talks about the credit, how we treat it differently regarding our credit, our scoring system. How we have higher interest rates in the mortgage and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and how it comes up with all this information. You'd be amazed. I'm like, oh my goodness. But I
Yeah.
want people to tune in tomorrow for that because that's going to be really good.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Name of the website and name of the Facebook page.
So the Facebook page is Realtist Association of Delaware. The email address, if they want more information, I can email you the link. When it comes,
Okay.
It'll be published tonight, right? About
Yeah.
5:30.
Okay.
It's going to go on our page, but they can email us at realtist.de@gmail, and Realtist is spelled REALTIST.de@gmail.com.
Awesome. Look, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. She's just having a ball. I'm
She
having a
is.
ball with her.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. I think that home ownership within the Black and Brown community is definitely a must. And being one that used to rent his butt off, you know what I mean? And then one day it was like, I don't need to get a house.
Right.
And just the convenience and the freedom,
Exactly.
and knowing that if you can pay, like you said, you can pay $2,000 for an apartment,
For
you
an
can
apartment.
pay $1,500 to $1,200
Yes,
for a home.
Home.
You can.
Exactly.
If
You know
can
what I mean?
rent
One
some-
bedroom, 2 bedrooms,
3 beds,
yes.
2 baths.
There you
do
go.
it.
With a basement.
And a
Yes.
vanity.
Finished.
And a foyer.
Done.
There it
All
is.
day.
All day long.
All right.
And keep this in mind. Listen, if you can rent someplace, you can own that in that same place.
That's what I'm trying to
And
tell you.
also, if you can't make your mortgage payment, you can't pay your rent payment, they get rid of you faster when you're renting
Don't
than
they?
owning a home. Because the bank does not want your house, so they will try to work with you if
Right.
you fall behind on hard times.
Remember the
But the
recession?
landlord gonna be like,
Yes.
you got to go.
Remember recession? Recession came and I couldn't pay my mortgage. They were like, pay what you can.
Exactly.
That's right.
We don't want it.
We don't want
We
your
don't
house.
want your crib.
You
Look,
just want the money.
yeah, right. We got to get out of here. Thanks again.
Yes.
Paris,
Thank you.
Keisha,
Yes.
Miss Biggs.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Next time you got something going on, can you please stop by?
Yes.
And make
absolutely.
sure that you go to, it's a heck of a week now. What's going on again for the week? Go. I'm going to give it to Keisha.
You gonna give it to
I'm
me?
gonna give you-
Okay, so tomorrow is the Political Advocacy Day.
Uh-huh.
Make sure you tune in for Zoom. Wednesday, we're actually gonna be volunteering for the food pantry. So
What
and
church?
then Alpha is Alpha
Alpha,
Home
yes.
Alpha Home Food
Alpha
Pantry. We're
Worship Center.
volunteering there.
Okay.
From 8 to 12, we'll be there with our little t-shirts and
Is
just
that
serving
in-
food.
is that
and
in,
stuff.
Belvedere?
That's in
yeah.
Bear.
It's in Bear,
Bear.
Delaware.
Okay.
Yep, we'll be doing that. And then Thursday is the Banker, the movie The Banker. Make sure you guys tune
For
in.
Fair
We'll be
Housing.
Great
posting that as
movie.
well. That's an awesome movie. I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Friday, remember, bid for assets. All these real estate agents are a part of sheriff sales for their clients where you need to be a part of the Zoom for bid for assets. And then Saturday, make sure you tune in for Ask the Lender. You get to call in, ask us questions, things you may be afraid to ask. Call in, talk to us. So that's from 10 to 12 on Saturday. That will be Zoom as well.
We might need to do a live joint air call.
Yes.
Ask the Lender. I think that would
Ask
be
the
good.
Lender.
You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Ask the
the Lender
Lender.
that
Yes.
anyone
That's
can
right.
just tune in.
Yep.
Facebook right
Yep.
now. This is on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and the website that they
Yep.
can ask any question.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh
Access.
my God. Let's
Yes.
think about that. All right.
Yes.
It's your main man, Big Ive. Oh, excuse me. I'm not allowed to use Big Ive no
Big
more.
Eye.
Things happen. Things change. Ivan Thomas here at DETV, and make sure you go to the website and check it out. All right, there's a lot going on in Wilmington, and we'll make sure that we keep you up to date and abreast of everything that's happening. But make sure that you follow us because we are starting and we are creating our own news network, our own news. We don't got to go to Philly. We don't got to go anywhere else but here on DETV.